Jai Saparikashi Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Juk Jai Giraju Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribrajakacharya Astatar Sita Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Paribrajakacharya Astatar Sita Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jita Parakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangsha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. I'm actually staying still, it's just Haribo. Jai, continuing to read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta Adi Lila Volume 1, this is the 4th chapter, the confidential reason for the Lord's appearance. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Ki Jai Srila Om Vishnupadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
What was that word? I should first
Delineate.
What does that mean?
Give points or show all the aspects of something. Delineate. It comes with line, like some line. Srimati Radhika is the transformation of Krishna's love. She is his internal. That Hladini energy gives Krishna pleasure and nourishes his devotees. It gives Krishna pleasure, and pleasure, what is the pleasure of God? So high, we can't conceive of that kind of. And nourishes his devotees. So text 61. Sachidananda Purna Krishnera Swarupa Aka Ichit Chakti Tada. Krishna's body is eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. His one spiritual energy manifests 3 forms. His one spiritual energy manifests 3 forms. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Anandang se Hladini Sadang se Sandini Chidang se Samvit Jare Jnana Karimani. Hladini is his aspect of bliss, Sandini of eternal existence, and Samvit of cognizance, which is also accepted as knowledge. Knowledge meaning acquaintance with truth. That's what real knowledge is. Acquaintance, realization of truth, coming in touch with that. But don't throw that away, okay, Prabhu? I'm going to use that actually.
Okay.
So Hladini is this aspect of bliss, that is Ananda. Sandini of eternal existence, Sat. And Samvit of cognizance or Chit. So Sat is Sandini, Chit, Samvit, Ananda, Hladini. So in his thesis, the Bhagavat Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami explains these potencies of the Lord as follows. The transcendental potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by which he maintains his existence, is called Sandini. By which he maintains his existence. He doesn't need anything to maintain his existence, but this is the manifestation of that. The transcendental potency by which he knows himself and causes others to know him is called Samvit. And the transcendental potency by which he possesses transcendental bliss and causes his devotees to also experience that bliss is called Hladini. The total exhibition of these potencies is called Vishuddha Sattva. And this platform of spiritual variegatedness is displayed even in the material world when the Lord appears here. The pastimes, so here Srila Prabhupada, referring to the Bhagavat Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami, is describing these things, but we are very much limited by our lack of experience in this transcendental plane, and also by language. So we simply have to try to hear these things in a very submissive mood. The total exhibition of these potencies is called Vishuddha Sattva. Extremely pure goodness. Pure. And this platform of spiritual variegatedness is displayed even in the material world when the Lord appears here. The pastimes and manifestations of the Lord in the material world are therefore not at all material. They belong to the pure transcendental state. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that anyone who understands the transcendental nature of the Lord's appearance, activities, and disappearance becomes eligible for freedom from material bondage upon quitting the present material tabernacle. He can enter the spiritual kingdom to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and reciprocate the Hladini potency in transactions between him and the Lord. In the mundane mode of goodness, there are tinges of passion and ignorance. Therefore, mundane goodness, being mixed, is called Mishra Sattva. Okay? So what did we just read in Gita? The three modes of material nature, and how the material mode of goodness is not pure. But the transcendental variegatedness of Vishuddha Sattva is completely free from all mundane qualities. Vishuddha Sattva is therefore the proper atmosphere in which to experience the personality of Godhead. So we do not understand the absolute purity of the pastimes of the Lord, because we are mixed in the modes of nature. But by hearing about them, we can become purified. The transcendental variegatedness of Vishuddha Sattva is completely free from all mundane qualities. Vishuddha Sattva is therefore the proper atmosphere in which to experience the personality of Godhead. and his transcendental pastimes. Spiritual variegatedness is eternally independent of all material conditions and is non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, both being absolute. The Lord and his devotees simultaneously perceive the Hladini potency directly by the power of the Samvit potency. So what is the Samvit potency? It is the potency of knowledge or consciousness. Consciousness coming in touch with Hladini potency is through the Samvit potency. But these are all eternal and absolute. They're not some relative thing of the material where you go to some library and study and then you get some knowledge. It's not like that. This is inherent absolute reality. The material modes of nature control the conditioned souls. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead is never influenced by these modes, as all Vedic literatures directly and indirectly corroborate. Lord Krishna himself says in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sattvam rajas tama iti guna jivasya naiva me. The material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance are connected with the conditioned souls, but never with me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we hear anything about the pastimes of the Lord, we have to keep this in mind. We have no experience of these kind of things, of this kind of pastimes. We cannot relate it to our experience within the modes of material nature. Isn't that wonderful news? I used to hear about heaven. Somebody would make some kind of pictorial or some kind of description of what they can conceive of as heaven, and it all looked so disappointing to me. When I was a kid, I was like, it's just like here, except there's no problems. And it wasn't inspiring for me at all. So the transcendental plane is not like it, it's not inebriated. Remember that word?
Inebriated? The transcendental plane is like not intoxicated.
Yeah, there's no intoxication of the nastiness of exploitation. People get, the demoniac quality loves to dominate. The material nature, when it is affecting someone, it is a matter of dominating. And we can dominate in the mode of ignorance and get the body of a snake or a mosquito or a scorpion or a spider. Or we can dominate in the mode of passion through force, through combat. Or we can dominate in the mode of goodness by a feeling of superiority to others in piety. So these are the modes of material nature, but their dominance is a factor in all of them. Exploitation. But there's no such thing in the divine plane. None. Not even the slightest hint of that kind of ego. Isn't that a wonderful thing to know that that is there? The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is beyond the three qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance. No material qualities exist in him. May that original person, Narayan, who is situated in a completely transcendental position, be pleased with us. In the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Indra praises Krishna as follows. Vishuddha sattvam tavadama santang tapomayam dvasta rajastamaskam maya mayo yanguna sampravaho navidyate te graha nanubanda my dear Lord, your abode is Vishuddha Sattva, always undisturbed by the material qualities. So the demigods in general are considered to be predominantly in the mode of goodness, which is why they get to live in this different atmosphere and within the material world. But it is mixed. And Indra got a wake-up call about that, because he, who's supposed to be so predominant in the heavenly planes, was overwhelmed by anger because he was being disrespected. So that is not pure goodness at all. And so he, getting the reaction of that, then he could come to his higher perception. Oh, you are not like that. You are in the position of pure goodness. And everything you do, everything you will, everything you are is fully auspicious for everyone. There's no, that kind of selfishness which Indra displayed is not there in him. But Indra was thinking, I am supreme. We all think that in our little way, in our little demoniac way. I can conquer, I can dominate. In some kind of way. I don't mean to say anything so harsh, but you know, those things are there in us. Okay, we are going to come out of that position. The goodness, austerity, and penance of the devotees enhance such activities which are always free from the contamination of passion and ignorance. Material qualities cannot touch you under any circumstances. This is what Indra is saying. When not manifested, the modes of material nature are said to be in goodness. When they are externally manifested and active in producing the varieties of material existence, they are said to be in passion. And when there's a lack of activity and variegatedness, they are said to be in ignorance. In other words, the pensive mood is goodness.
What is the meaning of pensive?
It means consideration, means thinking, thoughtfulness, reflective and self-reflective. Looking at oneself very honestly, looking at the condition of material nature objectively, trying to come into consciousness of what is divine. That is, but then when there's so many activities and trying to get this and becoming attached to this and that happening and all those things, that is the mode of passion. And one is like, I can't really be bothered. That's the mode of ignorance. Nothing good about it. A person who's not active can't even live. In other words, the pensive mood is goodness, activity is passion, and inactivity is ignorance. Above all these mundane qualitative manifestation is Vishuddha Sattva. When it is predominated by the Sandini potency, it is perceived as the existence of all that be, because everything is of an actually divine nature. To see that is samvit. There's one quality. Yes?
What was the meaning of Sandini?
Sandini? Samvit is, Sandini is the sun. Oh, wait. Okay, so when it is predominated by the Sandini potency, it is perceivable of the existence of all that be. So Sandini is Sat.
Truth.
Truth, reality, and what is eternal. Sat means it exists. What we're absorbed in now is not eternal. So it's not real. What is real is always real. It's substantial. It doesn't go away with the passing of time. It's real. So that is Sandhini potency. That is the existence of what is truth, what is real, what is substantial, what is absolute. That is Sandhini. And the first perception of that is the perception of Sandhini. You can ask a question now about that. So those who are trying to come out of mundane life, their first perception of what is not mundane is Sandhini, that oneness. But that is only oneness in, they're perceiving that actually everything is absolute. The variegatedness of illusion in the plane of exploitation is not real. So their vision becomes more clear. It's not that they're going somewhere else. They're seeing more clearly what is actually real. That's the first stage. The second stage is deeper. When it is when it's predominated by the samvit potency, it is perceived as knowledge in transcendence. So there's more experience coming, more understanding. And when predominated by the Hladini's potency, is perceived as the most confidential love of God.
This has some relationship with Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization. How so? It's like parallelisms.
Sorry?
It's like a parallelism.
Are they parallel?
Like
the stages.
Stages.
Yeah.
No, not those stages.
Parallel to Satchidananda. Sattvam Shuddham, Sattvam Shivam Sundaram, Satchidananda. Yeah, these are all the same things.
Interesting.
So as knowledge, so when there is knowledge, there's what is to be known, and there is the knower. But in Sandhini, there's no knower and no not. Everything is seen as absolute. The feeling of oneself it goes away. As the feeling of oneself as an individual goes away. Because, and that's the platform we come from, the Sandhini platform. That is it's transcendental, but that non-differentiated plane, that is where the living beings, where the souls, before coming to the material world or going to the transcendental plane, that's where we're from. That non-differentiated plane, that tatastha, not this, not that, not here, not there, indescribable. But when the individual soul has a feeling of his own self, he has a choice to make. And by his own choice, he goes in one direction or another. Guess what choice we made? The other. Yeah, we wanted to dominate. So, notice that. If we want to come out of that position, we have to start noticing our behavior and why we're doing it. Because dominating brings us into a very bad situation. It's rotten. Exploitation is rotten. So we have to at least not like that. And then the battle can start. But if we can't accept that, I am not the dominator, because I am not. That is not, my tendency to dominate is all inauspicious for myself and for others. Therefore, that is not my position. Krishna is the dominator. Everything he does is perfect for everyone. It is the best. His will is perfect. So we are not that. But we are servants of that. And there couldn't be a nicer thing, a more wonderful thing, to give our hearts purely to the pure heart of the Lord. So we need to turn ourselves around. And the environment is coming to help us with that through many different circumstances. So, Vishuddha Sattva, the simultaneous manifestation of these three in one, is the main feature of the kingdom of God. So that's a lot of information for us to process, but we can just do a small review. Sat Chidananda, Sat meaning Hladini Sandini potency, that there is, what is real is eternal. It's always existing and it's absolute. And then Samvit, knowledge, understanding of something higher, more variegatedness. And then Ananda, full experience of joy. What is the cause of joy and satisfaction? Love. Love. Love of Krishna. So Satchidananda. Those are all, and those all together are Vishuddha Sattva, and that is the basis, that is the nature of divine, the kingdom of God, of the divine plane. Any question, any more about that? Very good to study all that. Very important.
Why is it important for our practice? Like if we take
Can everyone hear you?
Yes.
Okay.
If we take in consideration our practice of surrender and kirtan.
Why is this information important?
To understand.
Oh, can you not feel that? You have to know who you are. That's Sambandha Gyan. You have to know what is what. That is the basis. Sanatana Goswami is the Acharya of Sambandha Gyan. What is what? Who am I? Where am I? And what is reality? What is the nature of reality? What is my situation? How do I progress? How do I progress comes into Abhideya. That is Srila Rupa Goswami. And then beyond that is Prayojan. What is the goal? And that is Raghunath Goswami. So this is very important. This knowledge of what is what, who am I, where am I, what is truth, and what is untruth. All of these things are very important for us to understand. Otherwise, any breeze can come along and just float you out the door. You have to have some solid basis and real transcendental. This is all conscious substance. There's no unconsciousness in this knowledge. It's not like a bunch of mental stuff you cram in your head and then you know so much. That is useless, unless, of course, it can be used in the service of the Lord. But I'm saying for this comparison, it's useless. It's all relative. It can all change in a moment. Everything. But this is transcendental, meaning conscious. This knowledge has come to you as consciousness in solid form, meaning in the form of sound, but as conscious substance. There's no unconsciousness, and it's made of something higher than we're made out of. And it's coming to welcome us into that plane. Consciousness means beauty, compassion, mercy, affection. All these things are imbued with those qualities. This knowledge is transcendental. It doesn't have any quality of matter in it. It's not unconscious, dead stuff. And I think that sometimes when we want to know all of these things for the sake that I can rattle it off, or I know it, or I'm a scholar of the scriptures or something, it becomes mundane because we cannot utilize this for that. We cannot own it. It's not something to be manipulated by us or to give us some credential. It is to be honored, to be loved, to be served. Without love and service and affection, no one can enter into this knowledge because it's not that kind of knowledge. It's beneficent. So we're learning these things, but with affection. So again, this is a very beautiful purport, and really these purports are really important for us. And sometimes I'll skip over the purports, but I go through them now just because they're so long. And I think, well, what's the rush? And now I'm going through these purports quickly. And then I think, oh no, this one we should read for sure in this class. But everyone should read them eventually. Everyone should go through them and read these. These are the basis, really basis of Sambandha Gyan and Abhideya Gyan. Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we were reading from Srila Maharaja that if we want to understand the real meaning of progress, we don't need to. If we want to understand the real meaning of progress,
Mm-hmm.
we need to read the Upadesamrta,
Yeah.
Lila,
Yeah, true.
Sambandha Gyan, what is what.
Yeah.
And it is true that if we don't become acquainted with these things, we might get lost. For example, one day we went with Didi to the University of Utah.
Uh-huh.
And we
Ran
into
into.
this Buddhist guy.
Mm-hmm.
And because we have heard about Sanatana Goswami and the difference between Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization, okay, we were like protected, we were safe.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't the case, I would have known that this guy would have crushed me.
Yeah.
And not in the sense that, oh, he won the debate, but he would have destroyed
Your
my
faith.
faith. Because he was like very articulate,
Mm-hmm.
faithful in what he was practicing,
Yeah.
and determined.
Yeah.
And he thought that Vaishnavism conception was
Yeah.
BS.
Mm-hmm.
That was nonsense.
Yeah.
So it is important because out there are people that are faithful and determined in their practice, but they don't understand. They don't know Mahaprabhu.
Yeah, they don't really the basis of and the more that you come in touch with that kind of thing, and the more that you can see, oh no, this is actually not, it doesn't make any sense, then you're in a very good position because it's true that it makes no sense. I mean, there's a position of nirvana, that is a position, but it is not home for the soul. There's so many things.
Yeah.
And so yes, you're right. Very good and very important. You can meet anyone. Once you become very established in this, there's no one who can defeat you. The only way they can feel that they've defeated you is through ignoring what you're saying and maintaining an egoistic position. That is the only option. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, men of high intelligence, men in that time meant humans. Men, because like the pronoun he was always the pronoun. And I still do that because that's fine. But anyway, just so people who can understand fine subject matter, they will be able to understand this. Others won't be able to understand it. They're not going to catch it. But by good association, they can catch it. So that's why human life is a potential. Human life has an extreme latitude of potential. It is the greatest latitude of any life that you can have in the universe, including the upper planetary systems, even the positions of the mystics. That cannot, in human life, you can make extreme choices that will lead you down to the eggs of snakes in your birth, or to the higher planetary systems of this world, or out of illusion altogether. And what to speak of now, when the influence of Mahaprabhu is in the world. It's mind-blowing. And that's another thing about Sambandha Gyan. You will learn and see what are the different gradations of knowledge. And you can see, this is better than this. Very, very important. Good question also, by the way.
If there wasn't any gradation or transfer, there wouldn't be any transformation.
Right.
There would be levels. There wouldn't be progress.
Yeah. There's no progress. There's just, yeah. So that's very good. So tomorrow we'll continue to read this. So now we know Vishuddha Sattva is the, Vishuddha Sattva, the simultaneous manifestation of these three in one, is the main feature of the kingdom of God. What are these three in one? What three? Hladini, which is Ananda.
Which is Ananda. Sandini, which is consciousness.
Sat.
Which is truth.
Sat, truth. Eternal truth, yeah.
And
Samvit. Oh, sorry.
Samvit, yeah.
Samvit, which is acquaintance with truth, which means the variegatedness of truth.
So that's chit.
Chit.
Samvit, right?
Samvit. Knowledge. It's given as knowledge, eternity, knowledge, and bliss.
So,
But
Vashuddha Tattva?
Vishuddha. Vishuddha Sattva. Sattva means goodness.
You said eternity, knowledge, and bliss?
Mm-hmm.
So Vishuddha Sattva is the
all three of these.
All three of those.
And that is the main feature of the kingdom of God.
The main feature. Satchidananda.
Yeah. So Vishuddha Sattva. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti yachakshurasti. Koti shesha vasudari vibhuti binnam tad brahma nishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam. That's not the one. Vishuddha Sattva. From Brahma Samhita. Vishuddha Sattva, Vishuddha Sattva. What's that verse? Anyway, it's describing the Lord as Vishuddha Sattva. Sattvam Vishuddha Sattvam. I forget the verse. But anyway, okay, the absolute truth. Okay, there we go. So, I'd like to look that up though. Okay. So tomorrow we'll finish this purport and go on to the next verse. Jai Shri Brahmasam, Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaura Chandra Giri Raju ki Jai.
You burned a lot of things there?
So we got a lot of faith in that.
What do you mean?
It's the outlet that's flying out of the wall. And he asked me to plug something in, and I said, "You should
What was that?
That outlet.
Can you tie your hair back?
Yes, ma'am. The outlet is coming out of the wall,
Uh-huh.
and he wanted me to plug
Oh.
in that.
Well, show Purushottam Prabhu.
There's a couple of things we need to show.
Tomorrow. And he'll fix it. Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnu Padesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. So now we are reading verse number 11 in the Upadesamrta.
I think we need to go back to...
So do you have a couple of those?
Yes, do you need one?
Yeah.
We have 3 actually.
Okay, good. Jai Srila Rupa Goswami ki Jai. Srila Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam Jiva Vegam Udarupasta Vegam Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Dira Sarvam Imam Vritivim Sasisyat Atyahara Prayasascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangas Chalolyam Cha Sabir Bhaktir Nashiti Utsahan Nishayantarya Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatyaga Sato Vrite Sabir Bhaktir Prasidyati Dadati Pratigrahnati Guhyam Makyati Prichati Punkte Bojayate Chaiva Sadvidam Priti Lakshanam Krishneti Yasya Giritam Manasadriyeta Dikshasti Chet Pranati Bishcha Bhajantam Isham Shishrushaya Bhajana Vigyam Mananyamanya Nindadi Shunya Hridamipshita Shangalatya Tishtai Svabhava Janiter Vapushascha Doshe Pito Patapta Na Prakritatvam Iyayat Janasya Pasyet Gangam Vasam Na Kalu Buddha Pena Panke Brahmatravatvam Apagachiti Niradharmai Syad Krishna Nama Charitari Sitapya Vidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kinvadaram na kalubul. Wait. Kinvadaram anudinam kalusaiva justa svadri bhavati tadgadamulahantri. Then number 8. Tannama rupa charitari sukirtananu smricho kramena rasana manasi niyojya. Tistan bhajeta ranuragi jaganugami kalam nayet akilam ityupadeshashat. The conclusion of all, the best of it, all instruction. Then number 10 number 9. Vaikuntaj janito badamadupuri tatrapi rasotsavat Vindaranyamudara pani ramanat tatrapi govardhana Radha kundamihapi gokulapate premamrita plavana Kuryadasya birajato giritate sevam vivekina kaha. Then, number 10. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayogyanininas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata tebhyasta pashupala pankaja dushastabhyopi saradika prestau tadvariyam tadiyar sarasitam nashrayet kakriti. So that number 10 that we just finished, such a very long, lovely presentation of the different talks in which Srila Guru Maharaj is referring to this gradation of the abodes, yes, those who are practicing spiritual life. So now, and even who are perfect in spiritual life, there are gradations. So such a small verse and so much knowledge is packed up in there. So now number 11. Krishnasyo cha, I'm sorry, please excuse me. Krishnasyo chai pranaya vasiti prayasibhyo piradha kundam chasya munipir abitas tadrageva vyadyayi taprestadapyalam asulabam kim punar bhakti bhajam tapremedam sakrid api sharas natur avishkaroti. Okay. Sri Radha is the highest object of Sri Krishna's love, above all his other lovers, and in all respects her lake has also been established as such by the sages. Sages means Vaishnavas. This lake bestows upon those who bathe within it only once prema that is extremely difficult, even for those who are dear to Krishna, to attain, let alone for practitioners of bhakti. Any question so far about just from hearing the verse? So again, gradation.
Mm-hmm. No question. So I remember one night Sudarshan Prabhu and Rupa were having a talk on the Upadesamrta. And the way Sudarshan Prabhu presented all these verses helped me understand kind of the purpose or the vision of Srila Rupa Goswami. And it's like there are different stages and how to go through those different stages. So it's interesting that the first verse is like very gross. It's a way to say, meaning like it's very understandable for us, like it's a speech and everything.
Yeah.
And Sudarshan Prabhu was saying, we first need to get it together and try to subjugate these urges if we want to start our spiritual life. Meaning if we have this out of control, it means like we haven't even barely started our spiritual life.
Yeah.
And then as we move on, it goes higher and higher and deeper and deeper. And the 11 is like super deep and conceivable. Yeah. So my question is, before trying to put in practice these verses, should it be like linear, sequential? Meaning like before I practice avoiding over-accumulation, unnecessary talk, misapplication of rules, should I first get it together, verse number 1, meaning I should first...
We should work on those simultaneously. Yeah, and in the mood of surrender, always remember, we are depending upon the mercy of the Lord. But that dependence as we were talking about last night actually, requires trust. You can translate Shraddha as being an increase of the vision of the Lord in which we can put our full faith and trust. So as that faith and trust is increasing through surrender, then that becomes the predominant thing. So, in other words, we cannot overcome these urges ourselves. We have to be aware of them. We have to develop an aversion to them. Not like, oh yeah, I'm going to really dominate here. I'm going to get what I want if I just do this and I just do that. We have to really not like that. We can see that as something which is inimical living within me. Then that need for surrender is going to come out more and more because I cannot do it. As you were saying, as Bimal Prabhu with that verse, I cannot do it. Therefore I am taking shelter of you. The whole thing is for understanding Sharanagati. All of it. And the necessity for Sharanagati is predominant in every tiny aspect of our practice. Very important. But we have to recognize some things which will help us to understand, oh, I must surrender. These things are inimical to me. And these things are very helpful to me. So all that is going on simultaneously. But when you come to the position of, like, verse 11, we are honoring these things. We are honoring Ragamarg. We are now in the practitioner's zone. But Ragamarg is, they're not practitioners. And to bathe in Radha Kunda, what does that mean? Sticking our body in it, which we never do, never. We will take a little drop on our head with extreme respect, beyond respect, full worship, prayerful worship. Such a high and pure thing. Nobody in their right mind will take a bath in Radha Kund with the physical thinking that's taking a bath in Radha Kund. What is the qualification for taking a bath in Radha Kund? It's extremely high.
Radha Kund. So Radha Kund is, I know it's something like super high, but is it?
Not, it's as dear to the Lord as Radharani herself. It is not different from Radharani.
So it's Radharani.
Yeah, you know, these things are so high for us. But one day, one day when we were in Govardhan, Srila Gurudev said, I'm going to Radha Kund. If anyone wants to go, then go. This was early morning, before the sun came up, in Kartik time. Gurudev stood up, walked out, got in his car. And no matter what, because it's cold. So many of us didn't take our bath until after the sun came up, because it was cold. It's not like there's a heated bath and nice, you know, all that stuff. So many of us were not really, like we were kind of not really in a proper condition. But we ran out into the street. Srila Janardhan Maharaj was there, I remember very clearly. We're all just running out into the street, and anything on wheels, we paid them to take us to Radha Kund. Anything, whatever it was. And we would pay whatever they wanted. And then we somehow got to Radha Kund and Gurudev was there. And he took us around. It's a day that still astonishes me to think of it, that it ever happened. Because Gurudev took the water of Radha Kund and sprinkled it all on our heads.
Gurudev?
Like this. And did that. And with his own benediction. It was the most astonishing thing that anyway. So we are, like Srila Guru Maharaj says, we are standing in the queue of those who are seeking mercy. We're not trying to stand up with our qualifications. What qualification? So all of these things are coming to the plane of surrender. They must come to that plane. How are you going to overcome Vacho Vegam and Manasa Vegam and Krodha Vegam? These are coming in as our karma. And when we see them, we can go, this nasty tendency in me, I cannot overcome, but I need to. I can only do that by bowing down to you. These circumstances have shown that to me. Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udara Vegam, Upasta Vegam. The circumstances are the environment to show me, oh, you've still got a problem with this. That's what the environment is doing, not inviting us to enjoy. The environment is divine, it's a teacher. And the world and our life is surrender. Our relationship with reality is to surrender to the Lord. Because I cannot do it. I can't do it. I can restrain some physical thing. But to really overcome these things, are you kidding? I'm going to do that? Krishna is saying, this Maya of mine, you're not going to overcome this. But those who surrender to me easily, no problem. She's mine. This is my energy. She serves me. I'm giving you an alternative to loving me. I had to provide that. So our relationship with all of reality is surrender. Then the environment will be so happy with us. It's our teacher. It's divine. So we have to come in consonance, come in harmony, come in the motion of the real purpose of everything. And stop living in the unconscious world, the world of death, where every experience leads only to death and reaction. We don't want that anymore. We want sandhini, truth, substantial reality, samvit. Understand these things. Come into consciousness of a divine plane of variegatedness, all in the service of the Lord, all of it. And then finally, hladini, actual love, actual happiness. Don't look for happiness in the plane of death. Don't listen to music of the dying person. The sound of his death. That's what music in this world is. All these things, we have to really begin to see what is real and what is not. But that is not by our, we have to desire this. And we have to come to the Lord to ask for that desire. Shraddha bindu diya, give me a drop of faith. Put a drop of faith in my heart. Dispensation. We're looking for something to come down and help me. And Rupa Goswami is saying, these things here, when you see them in yourself, recognize this is something is not friendly to me. The satanic mentality is, I'm delighted to subdue and overcome the consciousness of someone else. Love it. Delightful. But what is the result of that? Complete incarceration in a low, low form. An aquatic, or a plant, or some kind of hateful creature. So if we cannot carry that kind of luggage into a spiritual environment, it is disruptive. Wow, it's 10 after. Jai, verse 11, ki Jai. Haribol. Okay, Sri Upadesamrta ki Jai. So let's continue to memorize these verses, because by memorizing them, not so, yeah, I can rattle them off, I'm so knowledgeable. No, because they will come to us in our day and help us. These are the nectar of instruction. This is instruction. And we will recall these things. Atyahara prayasasya. Jai, Shishi Guru Gaur Chandagiri Raju Ki Jai. All right, can you give me a pair of cartels, please? Sorry, I keep forgetting to get them at the beginning of the class. Thank you, sir. Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govindam Srimati Srila.
Gopal Govindaram Srimati Sudana. Giridhari Gopina Madana Mokhana.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Rupa Sanatana Vata Raghunatha. Sri Jila Gopala Vata Dasa Raghunatha. Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhana. Jaha hoite Vignana Savisapura. Jai Gosai Jaram Muitarada. Kasira Chamareno Mora Panchagrasa. Tadera charana se vivata sanibas. Janame janame muraya vilasa. Jai Gosai Jabe Vraje Koilava. Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakasha. Anande Bolo Hari Vaja Vrindavana. Guru Vaishnava Parima Jai Jamana. Shri Guru Vaishnava Parapama Koriya. Hari Nama Sankirtana Koke Narottamada. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Sapari Kashi Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki
Jai.
Jai Shri Gira Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai Tadiya Sakamar Ki Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai Kol Kartal Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol Jai Gurudev Ki Jai all the online devotees Ki Jai Hari Bol. Okay.
Vimala Krishna Prabhu.
Jai Bimala Prabhu.
Kyo is asking, is Srimati Shri Lekha Devi Lekha okay?
Oh, almost. Thank you.
And also another reminder about the sermons, the volumes.
Yes, I'm not forgetting, but thank you very much now. I remembered it's in my to-do list for sure. Thank you for your enthusiasm also to have those very precious books. Jai Gurudev.